No sound detected on TikTok. That's because I haven't said anything. That's good to go. I don't think these third-party ones had motors in them. Them controllers. Yeah, they do. I didn't think they did.
The American Midwestern town, Raccoon City, has been completely decimated due to the T-virus outbreak that was instigated by the international corporation Umbrella.
Just testing. This is that GameCube we were doing the recap on the other day. We're built up now, ready to go.
To search for her lost brother Chris.
Just giving it a quick test, and then we'll jump on an Amiga. And maybe we'll just play Resident Evil the whole time. One of the best Resident Evil, Code Veronica. If only there was a lighter. Oh, wrong. Oh my! I am not used to GameCube buttons. What the? Oh, right. Yeah, PlayStation all the way. Ooh, hey, welcome in. This will be an Amiga. An Amiga video when I've finished doing a quick test of this. I kind of want to see this full screen. Where's my buttons gone? OBS never, ever, ever remembers the buttons now. There we go, that's better. Yeah, all good, thanks. Well, busy as hell, but yeah. Getting there slowly again. Every time I catch up, I end up getting behind again a week later. You've lost weight? Yeah, I've lost, what are we on now, in June? In about a year and a few months, lost about 5 stone now.
Here.
Still probably got about...
This place is finished.
I think another 2 I want off, probably.
I don't know, it might have been a
and then I'll have to get back to the gym and,
team. But in any case, this prison's been taken over. Troops have been wiped out.
I think if I sit and watch Resident Evil a bit longer, I'll just want to play Resident Evil
what
instead
are
of
you
doing
saying?
anything.
You're free to leave the complex. But you may as well know you have no chance of getting off this island.
Yeah, we need the...
And what about you?
Overhead
What are you going to do?
Then I can play.
Don't worry about me.
Oh yeah, it's I put on like, I can put on half a stone in 2 days, I can, that's the problem. I've been kind of stuck with at this weight now for like 3 months, I'd say. Ooh, don't forget the... Is that a film? Oh, empty. Can't see because my own head's in the way. Yeah, I haven't replayed... I've replayed Resident Evil 1 and 2, and I'm in the process of replaying 3, but I haven't replayed Code Veronica since I was a kid, literally. It's one of like the best ones, so I don't want to spoil it anyway. But I think it's because Code Veronica was quite like close to the originals 1 and 2, just better graphics basically. Mic a bit low. Anybody else think that? I think last time I turned it up it was a bit too clippy. Yeah, let me just boost it a second. Mic, filters, gain. Oh, the gain's turned itself off, so there. That's better. Should be enough gain now. No, this Resident Evil Code Veronica. Just as I was saying it, that the reason I like this is because how close it looks to 1 and 2, like the graphics, the menus, the sound effects. This is why I kind of like this version. So, see if we can find at least one zombie before we get on with work. Oh yeah, the remakes are great. The remake of 1 and 2. Oh, 7 months up, thank you very much. The remakes of 1 and 2 are great. They did the first one, didn't they? The wasn't actually, was it called like Resident Evil HD for the original one? There was a remake that was not that good, and then they made obviously the good remakes. That I've literally replayed the original 1 and 2, then the remake of 1 I've finished. The remake of 2 I'm halfway through on the Steam Deck, is it? Or Stream Deck, I always forget which way around it is. But this one I want to replay, which I'll need to build myself a GameCube to do that. It's a little low, having to turn it up more. Sounds better. So are we back to normal now on the audio levels? I think OBS just turned off the gain switch for absolutely no reason. Yeah, cool. So it's usual quirks of just losing the settings. It's really hard to see this. I've got writing all over the screen. I've got reflections. This is not the way to play Resident Evil. Streaming day. No, we should do that. We should literally just actually play games one of the days. There we go. No, I'm about to do Amiga 500, but got distracted by Resident Evil. Technically, we are meant to be testing this thing, just showing it off because the customer wanted it. The GameCube, like it's the one we did the recap on the other day. But this is just a quick. Game audio is louder. Turn that down. There we go. I think I noticed that last time when I played it back, actually the game audio was quite loud before, but it was coming through on your screen, wasn't it? On your streams and not mine, which I have no idea how OBS did that. Because it wasn't set to come through that feed, and it did. Any good or? Oh, not used it. Yeah, I might as well have a go of it. Don't know what will solve. Ooh, shite zombies. Oh crap. Wasn't looking. Good start. No, I am in. Oh, this is. Yes, that's the wrong time to look away. What's the run button? Oh my god. You wouldn't think this is like one of the best games I've played. I'm meant to be good at it. Looked away for 2 seconds and then nearly dead already. Yeah, see, it's so cinematic as well, I think, with the GameCube, because they had more memory. They added tons of these kind of cutscenes and stuff, that's why I liked it. I don't want to go any further because I don't want to ruin my playback of it when I do play it. So, that's that all working anyway. We've got, obviously, HDMI. It's got, if we reset, it's got Swiss on. We'll have to power cycle to see Swiss. And then, oh, have we tested the drive since the recap? The disk drive. Because the disk drive didn't work. Let's see if that works. We've got the most powerful opening lid ever as well. Doing. Where is the games? Just this. Oh, look at that, Resident Evil. So, of course, the test game can be the same game as well. Well, not the same. This is Resident Evil 1, isn't it? I forgot they did a Resident Evil 1 for GameCube. Disc 1. So this drive, this is the customers, but it's had a recap. This didn't work, the drive, but they've obviously had Swiss, so let's see now if it works, basically. If it doesn't, it's obviously just a drive, and it's what it is. Now, how do we get to that menu? There we go. DVD. So let's see if it actually works. Yeah, it's sacrilege. A fake one as well, not even real. This will be cool if this loads, though, because that means we've fixed the drive with the recap as well. Looks like it's going to. Yes. So the drive's working. So that's another fix then. So recapping has sorted that. Now I've got Rejust playing Resident Evil 1 as well. Let's give it a little bit more testing on the drive. If it plays audio, then we know it's good. Let's put this on full. Yeah, streaming, no problem. Oh, has he not got the menu noises? That's shocking. Oh no, don't like that. Don't like the GameCube version of Resident Evil 1. It's not got the right sound effects. Yeah, this one's not. No, I'd stick with Code Veronica on GameCube. Yes, that works anyway. So, system's all good. I'll have my game back. This can go back to the customer now, the Switch and the GameCube. And let's jump on an Amiga. Right, and what do you want from this lot? That's theirs, isn't it? Controller's ours. GameCube. Plug this back in because we're going to need this on the Amiga. Oh yeah, that's a little cast one of my friends made for me of Rusty, all signed. Did me photos and picture frames and stuff for Rusty. They're all over the house. I kind of want to play Resident Evil now instead of fixing consoles. That was a mistake. Yeah, I think we definitely need to do a stream of just chilling playing Resident Evil one of the days. Go in my games room and get a stream there somehow. Custom controller cables made. Yeah, we make them obviously we've made them for the SNES controller, but again, in like the RGB cables and stuff. But we know all the factories in China basically, and we order in bulk, so I can get them made and not take any profits from it, obviously. But you'd have to make, realistically, I think even trying to persuade the factories that work with me to do lowest volume, you'd still need anywhere from 500 to 2,000 pieces as like your minimum. But I can, if you need something, let me know and I can get you a quote at least. Move that. What have we got? I've given you everything back there, won't I think now? GameCube, controllers, ours, everything else is there. So this one is basically a customer's, and it sounds like it's his original. I think he said he found it in the loft. Pulled the Amiga out of, pulled the Amiga out of the loft, couldn't get it to turn on. Also some keys are sticky. That's the notes we've got. And then if we get it working, they want some stuff. Yeah, so 5 and 6. This is the simplest part here. These are literally physically stuck down. So up is not a plus. Doesn't look like it. So yeah, you can see. It's hard to see, but that's sunk right down. So it's surprising you can't tell on the angle of the camera. There you go. So see how 5 and 6 are completely stuck and not moving. Crunchy. Yeah, that button's shattered. We'll swap him. Yeah, so 3, but button 5 is instantly cracked. Like brittle. I've got some spare buttons anyway, so there we go. Freed up. But yeah, that's those are in some serious need of a clean. We're probably getting to maybe have a deep clean on this because it's going to need it, and it'll need a new 5 key. See how it's like cracked there very easily. But I've got loads of keys up here, so got obviously not a 5 key, but there's a random key. Got like the keys. I might see if he wants to swap all the keys out and have slightly brighter keys as well. But yeah, that's one thing we'll come to. That's the least of our worries at the minute. Right, so let's see. Zoom out. Retro brighting we don't do anymore. The buttons I've got are retro brighted, so they're nice and bright. But we don't do that anymore. So turn on. No power light at all. So that's either going to be his power brick, which I can't hear anything, so I'm going to guess bad power brick as well. So we'll swap the power brick. See if we can get power first. It's quicker than measuring because, like everything in this room, it's right in front of me. So here's another one. And then we'll get the AV cables out after, I guess. Nope, still. Oh yeah, there you go. So power brick's dead, so he needs a new power brick. You can see the red light now. Have we got a cable? We're going to need a mouse. Yeah, some of the power bricks, I've got about 10 under the desk there. Some of the power bricks weigh nothing, like you say, and then others are crazy heavy. It'll be the transformer. Maybe one isn't a transformer based one. What have I got here? Why have I got 2? There we go. 2 ends. Alright, so it might be a case of bad power supply, broken 5 button, thanks to me, that we'll have to swap out anyway. And sticky keys. So it might not be that bad, but it'll need a recap, I'd say. He's paid for diagnostics, so I'll probably, if we get this working, I'd probably do the recap for the diagnostics, if that makes sense, because it'll be something that's almost definitely recommended anyway. So where are we at? Hey, there we go. So let's see if we can get something on screen with the floppy. Let's run the Amiga test kit, get some audio in, and then hopefully it'll just be, well, he wants some mods anyway, I guess, so this will be testing the hardware and stripping it down, probably recapping, and then, like I say, these keys, they need really all pulling off with the key thingy, key puller, if I can find it. So we've got to pull all them off. Mega Drive controller cables, I don't really know. I've just got some Mega Drive controllers at best. What am I after? Floppy disks. And then let's see if Amiga test kits. This will tell us something. Oh yeah, I've got a copy of X copy. So I printed my own little. I basically made that label, so it looks cool. And then we sell them labels as well, custom floppy labels if anybody wants any. Doesn't look like the floppy disk's working either, because no sound. Well, sound, but oh, there we go. Maybe it's the eject. I think it just needs a good service by the sounds of it. No, it's not going to load. So yeah, it doesn't sound. Yeah, floppy drive probably wants that as well. Lots of things then. So yeah, let's strip it down and see where we're at. But pretty much problems all around. We've got floppy not working, power not working, keys are stuck. Yeah, I've got all the internal stuff we can test as we go anyway. Just need to make sure I keep my stuff separate so we don't get all this mixed up. Yeah, the booting's about the only thing it does do. So, at least it boots, but that's as far as it gets. Right, put him up there, get these floppies out of the way. So we don't know whether sound works, we don't know whether any of the major chips work because the floppy isn't working, so. Ah, the Game Gear works now, you've got batteries in it. There we go. Oh, this, I haven't even turned this over yet, this does not look good. So, rusted screw, main concern. Rust in there. Yeah, this has got oxidation and moisture everywhere. This might be a, we might get in this and realise it's a lot worse than it looks. Yeah, why do I have a feeling this is going to be not good? There's a hell of a lot of rust. Oop. What did I just chuck at myself? Screw. Wrong size, of course. Oh, we're banned on TikTok again for the usual. I'm apparently redirecting users to purchase outside of TikTok. The same old, same old. Love what you do, Retro. Thank you very much. Yeah, not too bad for me. Just going to do this Amiga really today. Just a few hours on this. I'm not sure how far we'll get, but depends if I can even get in this thing. Don't know where I've put my bits for my Torx bits. I thought I had a bunch of these. Well, I did have. I don't know where I put them all the Torx bits. I have to make one up instead. I definitely had all the Torx bits somewhere. 15, 20, that is not a 10, that's in the wrong place. That's a 5, which is, oh yeah, this is all, it's been moved about as well. Try the 10 on your right hand side. That was, what was in there? That was drill bits, but maybe that should, why do I feel like I've got a screwdriver with it already in? Maybe in this tub, my tub of random stuff. Oh, these are all listed now as well, finally. The everything. So, here we go. Are these it? Yeah, I've listed like the Kynar wire, tweezers, cap kits, like the universal cap kits. Yeah, sticky. In the bin. That's it. Nope, why is this tub so... Oh, it's my flux tub, that's why it's sticky. Nope, not in there. So I'm just going to have to make it up for now, maybe. This desk needs a clean. Oh, I've got a real engineer. There's the fakey. Got a real one. So there's the fake. Listen to that. Compared to real. Like... the suction alone just giving it, so yeah, can't be the original. I used it once and had to buy another one. What were we doing? Right, so this bit needs to go into this bit. I'll have to find that out later because I definitely... It's always a T15 and a T20 you need, pretty much for any retro stuff. So I've got the T20. I don't know what I've done with the T15. Right, so let's get into this if we dare. The only screw that's missing is the one behind the warranty sticker. And somehow I highly doubt anyone's been in this in a long while. I mean, I could give them a new case as well, but all depends how far they want to take it because, oh yeah, there's a screw missing there. Somebody has been in at some point. It just depends if it's sentimental, because I've got a feeling we're going to open this up and it be bad. That's my suspicion. Those two are floppy at the minute, so I think on the 500, there's the 3 at the front, the 3 at the back, but it's missing 2 of them. So I'm pretty sure that'll just open up now. Yeah, so we've got some black mold there. Don't want to not breathe that in, I guess. Oh yeah, this has got some oil. So this, look at that. I better not be having a Subway spud or a Mackey's salad while I'm working on this. It's no wonder they're sticky. They're literally stuck on 30 years of grime there. So let's not worry about that too much until we see inside, because depending on what we see under here is whether this even goes anywhere. Depends how bad this really is. Yeah, not too bad so far. Like I want a shower already, like, but it's the keyboard's atrocious. Like, it might be worth just offering a new keyboard to the customer, because the labour time in messing with that keyboard, it's way quicker swapping the keyboard. Right, and so next up, floppy drive out. I'm going to swap that back around. Yep, swap that for that. It's a lots of coffee job, this one. So we've got the screw at the side to just loosen slightly, and then we have the 2 underneath, or 3, I can't remember which, the mechanical screws. There we go, 3 of them. And I've done right. That lifts out. Got some dust bunnies under there. So now that's free. Let's just bend these metal tabs up with my fingers. Maybe use a tool. Or was that it? I think that was it for the metal tabs. 2, no 3. 3 metal tabs. Swap back to this because I forgot about the side metal cage. And here. Gets this little metal side guard out. And if I've done that right, I think, is that it now? One more tab over there. There we go. Not too bad. Maybe this is survived then. So I was expecting a lot worse. I mean, this is not pleasant. Like, we're far from it. Yeah, like, look at me desk already. Fucking filthy. But I thought it was going to be like no fix. This definitely needs a deep clean, without a shadow of a doubt. Though this needs a full clean. So that's what I'd recommend to him. But ignoring the the cosmetics, because that's a job Zach will get, clearing everything out and giving it a nice spruce. I'm more inclined to get the system working first. So take out the trap door. There we go. This comes out. Oh yeah, it's got the. Oh yeah, it does. That'll be from. Yeah, that's a factory job. That looks like. I presume they come from factory. You could have the upgrade. And so that's there. Want to do some shampooing and cleaning, or do you want to leave this for another day? Because this is fucking filthy. You might regret saying you'll do it. The floppy drive is like filthy, but it doesn't matter because I'll dry it out. So you could just do the same with that. It's like that's all shitty. That's shitty. That's probably going to get replaced, so just go to town on it anyway. Because it's like fucking grimy. Just soap it all, and then I'll IPA it after. Yeah, I'll IPA it all after. It's got to be like stripped down anyway, so same with that. It's like just absolutely grimy. Right, let's clean up this desk first before we work on the actual motherboard. That. Oh, you're on about the trapdoor add-on. Oh yeah, this bit. I thought you meant the 1 meg on the system. Yeah, the trapdoor is obviously just a plug-in. But the soldering on the... Wow, this is completely destroyed my desk. It's filthy. The 1 meg on the board. I say the 1 meg. Is that actually just 512? What have we got here? 256. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, it's only got 512 on the board. It's just 256 kbs. So that entire full row is just the 512. So yeah, it'll be the 512 on the extra. Wow, I feel right grimy now. Clear this mess off. I've got a cut on my finger because this is burning my skin. This is just what's fell out of it before we clean it. It's literally just splash damage. Good job I'm not in cream. That'll do because we're probably going to get more mess. So to get this out now, we need to use the other thing that I know I've got that I bet I've lost. Oh no, yes I have. Or is it just in here? No, it's here. So we've got the socket. There we go. So just a, what socket is this? 5mm socket. So we just want that to get all of these out, and then we can get the metal cage off. And I can't remember what the goal was here. Recap we were going to start with. I mean, it's not strictly terrible, but we're doing the deep clean already anyway, so Zach's on that now. So we're just going to do that, and I reckon the recap, while we're waiting on that, clean of the board with IPA, looking for damage. I don't think the caps are going to solve anything. They don't look bad enough that they're going to be an issue, but I'm going to do that as bolts and braces first. And then after that, we need to start swapping components. So getting a working floppy, plugging it in, testing if this floppy's bad, getting a working keyboard, you know, basically just ruling out what's bad, but is already in it at the minute for a new power supply, potentially new floppy if I have 500 floppies, and new keyboard, or at least new keyboard button. So it's like there's a lot to be done here, but it is the customer's original, I'm pretty sure. So they sound like they want to get it up and running. So we'll do enough for what the diagnostics covers first, and then we can take it from there. Afternoon on TikTok. It is limited, so we probably won't get many people in it now because the lovely every single stream TikTok block. We need a sound that plays and pops up every time TikTok limit it, like an automated cheer. Oh, this feels a little bit crunchy. Something's still sticky on the bottom of this board, which is not the best sign. It's making me think we have, yeah, a little bit of something. Yeah, I think it was just all this. Luckily, this sheet has actually protected the board. So engineering in the 80s, better than we have now. So of all that rot and grime and shit, look how pretty much pristine the board is. Right, we're in. So that is all of the opening up done. Now it's diagnostics time. Keep these screws out the way. Hey, welcome in. So what do we start with? Recap. I think it's just an easy one, isn't it? Just get the recap done, I think. Recap and visual inspection. This one was assembled in Hong Kong, apparently. QC pass, assembled in Hong Kong. What's going in this one as default? A small one. Put that back in. I've also got this while the camera's zoomed in. Don't ask me why I brought this. Just like a death needle. Got no idea what the use of this is ever going to be. Like, why would we ever want to tip that fine? But I don't know. Saw it. Thought it looked cool. Thought we might try it in the JBC. Yeah, this is an Amiga. Amiga 500. That's had quite a lot of, I don't know, water damage, oil, something. Been stored in a loft and is not in a good way. All the outside and the keyboard are pretty grimy. They're just off being cleaned now. And our job is to start looking at this. When you put disk and screen changed, yeah, it doesn't say it's fully working, but it's a good sign. It's like, hopefully it's working enough that the chips themselves are working. They're all socketed though. This version's pretty much socketed, so easy to figure out if there's problems, I guess. So spray and the only thing before you clean a board heavily is you normally want to I've got a cut on my finger, that stings every time. You want to look around for anything you might be wiping off, like signs of potential damage that if you clean the board first without looking, it might give away the game, where, you know, like a board rot might be. But this board is pretty clean. There's nothing, I'd say, nothing to catch my eye on here that I'd say is worth remembering. It all looks pretty average. So I'm just going to give it a general defluff first. Get rid of some of the crap on them. We'll go for a recap, and I think the first thing I'd like to do is get the floppy disk working. So either we service the floppy disk, maybe, and show you guys how to service the floppy. There's a lot you can do to get the floppy running, but I'd probably want to start first with a known working floppy. Yes, look at me sponge now. Just a quick wipe. It's like it's been down a coal mine. Right, that'll do for now. Just a quick spruce up. Let's get on with the recap, I guess. Oh, actually, why is my overhead not on? I've got the recap kits now for the Amiga 500, so perfect time to try it. Thing is, where did I... Oh, I've taken them all down. I need to go grab a cap kit. Just grab as a Amiga 500 cap kit if you can as well. Top on the top on your left, they're all in a line in the white bags. Yeah, Amiga 500. Yeah, so we got. Did that stretch as well? Could you still hear the mic that far away? I wasn't that far, to be honest, but I was probably 10 meters away there. Or did you lose audio? Right, so that's just going to grab me a cap kit. So I'm going to start stripping this out. Yeah, cool. So this mic works pretty decent. Right then, methods for removing these. What do we go with? It's always fun picking the method to remove caps. This is by a socket, so we probably want a soldering iron. Or, oh God, I've got cuts everywhere on my fingers. They're stinging everywhere. IPA. Yeah, okay, let's just the iron, I reckon. Start with the iron. And this is the nano. I honestly think I'm going to swap this out for the B iron. I don't think the nano is going to survive. This will be the perfect thing. If it survives the recap, I'll keep it. If not, I'm sending this back and getting another B iron 500 because the power isn't the issue. The battery life is. So alright, so that's one side up. Turn the other way and get this side up. Capped on tape. What's that for? Like, I know what it is. What you thinking for the heat? Nah, it's just a wind guard is all that'll be. Right then, proper engineer. This is what we want. Da-da! Symbols. As Sergey says. This is causing a vacuum under the silicon because it's literally touching the silicon. Fresh solder. Why are you not cleaving? Just as I said you were simple. Why is this hole not cleaving? You're molten. So there's no issue with heat transfer. Why is that not cleaving? What's going on? There's no reason this shouldn't be cleaving the hole. Go from this side then. Weird, it just wouldn't clear from the other side. Yeah, look at that. We've done one cap and it's at 68%. That is not good. Oh yeah, the new cap kits are they're selling quite well already. To be honest, sales have been terrible though. If I'm being honest, I haven't taken a wage for 3 or 4 weeks now. Just having a right little dip in sales. We had a quiet when all the sun come out. It went dead quiet, and then it picked back up last week and went good again, and then it's disappeared again. How hard is increasing the negative range of an output knob on a Pro Audio analog compressor? Geez, that's a lot in one thing. All depends on the circuit. You'd have to trace it back to the op amps and get the data sheets up and see if they're set with resistors or gains, and then you could possibly just simply tweak a few resistors. You'd have to mainly look at the circuit. Has this cap even got that black gunk, or somebody? What is that? More curious. So on all of them, somebody like put a. I think I've ever seen that. It's almost like somebody's used a Sharpie there, but it's maybe. I think what we're dealing with here is maybe a really old recap, or maybe just the factory in Hong Kong assembled it. Even the cap has got black mold on. Yeah. I'm gonna have a shower after I've done this one. This is not it's not the cleanliest one to be working on this. Hot air and black mold. Lovely. How has the board survived this one? It's like as if all the caps have taken the damage. Prox price if you get it done professional. I'm too busy to take on stuff that isn't already listed anymore. I used to. But if I was doing it, it would probably be like bear in mind my prices are not the cheapest. They're not the dearest, but they're not the cheapest. I'd probably charge like £90 diagnostics to start with to give me the chance to actually look at the circuit and figure it out. And then the solution might then just be a resistor, which is then just like, 20 quid labour. But it's all an unknown. Whereas if you get somebody that's used to just because it's sitting, I'm going to grab my other one. Yeah, look, that's like 50% and we've done 2 caps. If you get someone that's used to working on amps, I think there is a guy on TikTok or YouTube that I see randomly every now and then. And he primarily works on amps and stuff like audio amps. No, it's nothing to do with the iron's power like I thought it is, just literally these boards I think it's because it's sitting flat on the silicon. It's making this a bit of a pain. Let's do it from the other side. Yeah, there's a guy on TikTok or YouTube that like deals with amps all the time. So somebody that looks at them might be less, but to be honest, it's kind of a specialist thing anyway. So you're probably going to find out, even if you find somebody that knows what they're doing, they're going to charge probably similar to that anyway. One sec. Right. We're back. Fix it, Mark. Mend it, Mark. Oh yeah. See, he's not the one I'm thinking of that I've seen doing amps. There's a. He sounds. I think he sounds Yorkshire. The guy, maybe Yorkshire. Yeah, I'm terrible with accents. Maybe Yorkshire accent. I haven't seen him for a long while on there, but yeah, one of them deals with amps. What you're searching for really is just electronics repair or audio electronics repair. It's like I say, it's kind of a specialist thing in one way. So there's not many of us that do stuff like this for freelance and one-offs. I'm afraid it's a pretty bespoke thing. There we go. That's that side off. Yeah, it does actually. Sounds a little bit Stokey-ish, doesn't it? Right, let's see if I can get this off from this side. I'm pretty sure it's because it's sitting on the silicon mat and causing like a suction effect the other side. Yeah, it might be worth then checking Mend It Mark then on. Oh yeah, Cool. Put that back in your charger. That shit doesn't last. Gonna have to get it swapped for a 500. I've got unmelted solder. There we go. In my desolder pump ready. The only problem with desolder pumping solder that's not molten enough is it can end up going up the actual desolder pump, which you can't really see here, but it's like you get a little flex there that you can see still on. It goes up and kind of solidifies inside. So you can put your, to be honest, the best thing is probably just putting the iron in the tip like that to melt it. And then doing that maybe. Yeah, little trick works. Service fat, no, we definitely don't work on PS3 fats, unfortunately. Well, yeah, I've definitely clogged my desolder pump up doing that. Yeah, it'd be cool. I've like there's been quite a few people that want like podcasty stuff. It'd be quite cool to do, but synchronizing multiple people at the same time and making it regular enough to be worthwhile. I'm gonna have to just ride with this desolder pump, see if it'll work by just using it more. Feels a little bit jammed. Right, so we've got the cap kits now. We have the 600, 1200, 1200. There we go, 500. I don't like how fat that sounds. It sounds like there's a lot of caps. Amiga. Yeah, I think the hot air is, I don't know why I've decided to use 9. I just change every time we come to do a recap. Literally pick a different way of doing it every single time. So these are all 47s so far, so I can bin them because all we've removed is 47s. Oh yeah, heat the dissolve. Yeah, I could do. Yeah, we'll see first. In fact, yeah, to be honest, it's easy enough to strip down anyway. I'm just trying to not sidetrack. But oh yeah, there we go. Tell how much I've done with it since then. Oh yeah, this is filthy. Okay, this is dirtier than the Amiga. Let's maybe clean my tools first. So I think I've shown stripping these down multiple times. They just unscrew off either end. And then this one, I don't like taking this out because every time you take this out, you have to pass it over these threads. And it's a rubber gauge. So I'm actually going to try and leave this one in for now because I think that's what probably eventually did my previous one in. I know I've used it for years and years, but you can just pull out this piece and there's basically a rubber gasket, just like there is on there. There's a rubber gasket on there and you have to pull it past these threads. So it doesn't do the rubber gasket much good doing that. But instead, we just shove that in, turn around, and yeah, you can see lots of solder. And all this will stop the smooth operation. Oh yeah, I mean it's a similar issue with I'm gonna have to take it out and just do it once. Right, so there's the crusting of solder on there. Get this end on here. The idea is just get all of the solder out. Wow, yeah, this is this is caked. Look at this. Another cloth. This is like the dirtiest stream we've ever done. Yeah, you want to be careful as well. You don't bend this because this is quite delicate. I think this is aluminium. So you can bend that, and then you end up with getting it caught every time you are servicing it or ejecting it in and out. Sometimes it ends up, this will catch on this hole, or this stub here and won't go through. So just, again, try and be delicate with that bit. The B-iron, I think, is a 210. Ouch, he says, poking himself. They are, yeah, 210s. So, but I'm using the B-iron 500 is the one I've been using. I've brought the Nano, but it just isn't lasting enough for my workflow. I'm not sure what workflow it would be for, to be honest, because we did 3 caps and it went down to 50%. So it's not usable for me, but I'll swap it out for another 500 because Zach's now using one as well. So won't go to waste, and I've tried it. But the other option is I could keep it and clean juice it, but then you're kind of defeating the point of a Nano. The whole point of the Nano is it's smaller and lighter. So if I'm going to mod it with a big battery, kind of completely defeats the point of why you'd get the smaller one. Oh no, it's definitely the iron. I've had, they've already sent me another one and behaves just the same. So it is the iron. It's got a 100 milliamp hour battery in. So you imagine the GBA Clean Juice has a 1,700 milliamp hour battery in to power a Game Boy Advanced. This is a soldering iron that's got about 8% the power of a GBA Clean Juice, and about 4% the power of the Game Gear Clean Juice. So it's never going to last long because it's a tiny, tiny battery. Whereas the B-iron, I think, when I looked it up, had like a lot larger, like 700 or nearly 1,000. So it's still not as powerful as the GBA Clean Juice. I am tempted to keep it and clean juice it, but like I say, it's kind of, I don't know how much they'd appreciate me gutting and modding a JBC iron though. It's like being sponsored by them. I probably shouldn't mod them, you know. It's wow, look at that desk. Right, so I think we're clean enough again. Let's try and get this mess off the desk once more, and all off me. See, we should have just carried on playing Resident Evil. It would have been a much more fun day. And then once we've cleaned, we need to make sure we lubricate all the parts again. Ooh, whack the camera. Otherwise, it's all going to seize up fairly quick. Yeah, to be honest, I think maybe the Nano is designed for people that work on really small components, like 001, 02s or whatever they're called, and 0201s, and really small resistors with really small tips or something. I genuinely don't know, but it does not last. I've tried it now for a week or so to give it plenty of charge cycles and make sure it's working and it's right and stuff, and it's it doesn't last more than, I'd say, 5 to 10 minutes. Well, give it its due, maybe 15 minutes of use. I'd say active use. So I don't know, maybe for really light use, but then wow, yeah, why go through all that hassle, basically? Yeah, a lot of people do that. They use the genuine JBC tips. I've tried both, and you can't beat this. Doing whatever it does to the power of the tip is massively different than just using the tip. Without any shadow of a doubt, the iron itself is crazy good. At least the B-iron 500 I'm using. Right, what have I stood up for, and what am I doing? I've cleaned the desk, lubricant, that's what I need. Ah, where have we put it? There. So this is now, I keep forgetting we've got the top-down camera, haven't we? Well, that's still not working. My top-down camera. It's apparently on and... Oh, wrong one. There we go. There we go. Putting on lubricant now is pretty much the same idea as you'd expect, but you want to be careful that you don't overdo it, because if you put too much lubricant on, then that cuts on my finger again. What you can do is you'll get all the solder that's going up into the desolder pump will clog. It'll get sticky with the lubricant. So ignore the people that say you can't use too much lubricant. You definitely can. You want to be sparse on this so that you don't clog the solder. Otherwise, you'll just have to clean this within no time at all. You're going to end up doing all this work cleaning out the desolder pump. It's the problem with having a microscope view. You can see everything. Clean every little crevice. People joining again be like, this is a weird Amiga 500. That'll do anyway. Let's onto here. You want to lubricate the thread. So there we go. That's plenty. One dab. Rolls all the way around naturally. Smear it in. That's that bit. Wow. Itchy no small this. Cleaning. You want to try and... Those threads are going to have little bits of soldering. We're not going to go too much to town. Just going to put a little blob of oil in there. And you can see it rolling around. Just get your finger in. Smear it round. Same this side. And when you put the actual threads back in, it's going to force them specks anyway out of the way. So it's going to naturally move them little bits of solder out of the way. Yeah, just spray it spray it with IPA basically to rinse off. I guess that kind of feeds through and goes in, and you want to just a tight enough seal there to get an airtight seal. You don't need to go crazy because just all about the pump having airtight. And you can see it's nice and clean in there. So you want this tube to be as clean as possible, because this is now going to slide up and down. So this is the key thing. This is now dry and sticky at the minute. So this rubber needs a little blob on. And that's the only place that's needed. And then the top of here doesn't really need it, but you can just put a bit on. Now, this is the bit I don't like doing, you see, because it's got to pass over them threads. So this rubber, this is the thing that gives you the suction and the seal. You've got to pass that over the threads, and there's no real way of doing it. At just a little bit of a bend, and you get through easier than try and go straight in. And then straighten it back up, and you've got to find your way to get that piece through there that we mentioned without it catching. So you should find it pretty much finds its way out, and there's that bit that got stuck in. That's what started this whole process. That was the bit of cold solder that was stopping it working. And then if we've done it all right now, we thread this on. Best Amiga. I mean, the power, in terms of the best power, the 1200's got the most power, but it's all preference. I personally like the 600, just for its shape, with it being like the most compact. But I think it's like the least favourite of most people. So most people don't like the 600, but I like the form factor of the 600. 500's the OG, so people tend to prefer either the 500 because that's what they had, or the 1200 if they really want the power, or again, that's what they had. But I've not found many people that actually like the 600, even though I do. Oh, I forgot the spring. So yeah, before you assemble it like this and clean it, don't forget the big giant thing that makes it work. Better get back to work. Yeah, thanks for jumping in anyway. And let's get one more clean on that, actually. So taking it out once more's actually got a little bit more crap off. And then, oh, and then obviously there's the Amiga 1000 and 2000 as well, if you want the desktop style Amigas, which again, they're even less talked about than the 5, 6 and 1200s. See, this is now where this starts catching. We had good luck the first time where this went in kind of easy, and now it doesn't want to go in easy. Let's maybe go over slow. Yeah, see, 600. We got one 600 fan in at least. I never had the Amigas when I was young. It was the Atari, and then the newer consoles, like your main NES, Mega Drive, SNES, all that stuff. And I was a PC goer before that, so I was like a MS-DOS guy. But since I've repaired these, I really like the Amigas. They remind me of the PC stuff, so I like. There we go. Back to usable. I like discovering all the new games on the Amiga now, because obviously I've never had one before, but I always like Rough and Tumble's the one you'll always see me play on here. I just like, again, the colours of it. I think that's what the main appeal of it is the kind of retro pixels and bright colours and easy listening music, stuff like that. It's you just don't get anything like that anymore. I think it's the simplicity that allows you to just use your imagination. I think all the games are something where you can use your imagination, whereas newer games, they're too realistic to have that imagination. Right, so let's see what we got in this kit. We've got the 4.7 and the 10s in the ceramics, and everything else is currently the through holes. So welcome in. This is something that these kits are all starting off as the hybrids, with most of them being the aluminiums, and then as I work through them and I test them more, we'll slowly bring in more ceramics as we can. But these are the known ceramics, definitely work and are perfectly fine. And these are then we know ceramics works. I've done multiple ceramics on the Amigas, but do we know they work better than aluminiums? That's the question at the minute. So I've purposely kept the kits where there's ever a doubt they may or may not work as good. We've just kept them aluminium for now, so we can release all the cap kits that people keep asking for, and then we'll work our way backwards to merging them into closer to all electrolytics where possible. Ceramics where possible instead of electrolytics. So this one we need some 47s already, and this kit works for every version. So you'll find you have more caps than you need in here based on the fact it supports every revision of console. Let's go to this for a minute while I sort out. So these are 22s so far, 3 22s. We've got the whoppers over here, which we'll come to, 3300s, which are the giant 2 blue ones here. You can't see, those are them 2. Then we have, this board hasn't got many, so we know for a fact we're not going to use these 1000s, but I'll keep them. To be honest, with how few are on this board, it's probably easier just finding the caps I need than sorting them. But there's not that many to sort, so 100. I am boiling as well. 100, 100. Might open the door. 100, 100. I wonder if I can get the missus actually make me a drink, or whether she'll tell me to don't be so lazy and make me own. Let me clean my coffee cup first. I'm going to presume it's going to be a yes. So IPA. There's that cut on my hand yet again. Oh yeah, Doom. See, now, I loved Doom as a kid. I don't really play it much as an adult. It's not like replay value. You tend to play the first level or the first few levels and then stop, whereas some people just love Doom over and over. I'm one that I liked Doom, but I played the modern one recently. I think we spoke about it before. The Doom 2016 was the one I thought was newer, because when I finished it I downloaded another version and it was horrible and like cartoony and just not like Doom, and I thought that was an older version. It turned out to be newer. I still need to order that other Ember mug. I keep forgetting. I went to order it last night, the flat white sized one, and I don't know why I don't. I keep forget. Oh, I keep struggling. I can't find it on Amazon. Yeah, Wolfenstein 3D is the better one. See, now Wolfenstein 3D I'll play. I don't know why. Just a bit more casual and friendly and chill. I enjoy that more. Right, 47, finally. The last ones I come to sort are the ones I need. 47s, 47s, 47, 47, 47, 47, and one random 22 over there. Right, so we've got hundreds, which we haven't come to, the 2 Whoppers, a single 470, I think it was, 22s, 1000s, and 47s. So we've got 3 47s so far. I've said 47 way too many times. Yeah, Quake 1 and 2. See, now Quake Arena, that was what I liked. Yeah, so that goes through there. I had to think what I was doing then. Polarity, that one through there. Let's go top down. I am absolutely boiling. I'm going to open that door. Oh, hang on. What am I saying? I've got aircon. Keep forgetting I've got aircon. Put the aircon on. There we go. I've been with that aircon for that long. We've had it all serviced and working. And then I still forget I've got it. There we go. Do we use IPA and everything? Yes. I have a shower in IPA. Feel a bit dirty. Bit of IPA. Thirsty? Bit of IPA with coffee in it. There we go. Nice and focused. Oh yeah, in black. See, I liked the coppery looking one, I think it was. So I don't mind buying off their site, but I think that's why I keep forgetting, because Amazon's a nice one-click buy. And if I can't one-click buy, I end up doing other stuff or getting back to work, or, you know, not spending the time to go in and order it. And then I just forget for days/weeks and then come back to it and then go to buy it again. It's like an infinite loop. $35 for 700. Yeah, that is ridiculous. Why is it so expensive? Just buy some absolute vodka. That'll be cheaper. I think I get a 5-litre tub for 15 quid. So like $20. That's insane. Yeah, just literally get alcohol, just pure alcohol instead. Oh yeah, if you send me that link, I'll end up buying it in a minute. Right, that's them too. We have one more I took off over here. That's another 47. And like I say, this is not going to solve the issues they've got on this, but at least we know that's done and there's no question about something not loading because of caps. So I can guarantee you, caps are pretty much never the issue, ever, for anything. Like, with the exception of Game Gear, caps are almost never your problem. They're just a good preventative maintenance. And let me see if the mist will make me a drink. Cool. I'll mute in case she says no, and then I'll pretend she said yes. Yes, there we go. Got a cuppa on the way. Cup of tea though, she won't make me a cup of coffee. What was I doing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to hot air these off. I get bored of doing the iron way. And then, so let's get something. Maybe this. Lift it up off the board, or shall we actually hold it in? There. Oh, that'll do. Kind of weight there. And then hot air time. And what have we got? 22. 10 is a ceramic. 22. Is that 47 or 4.7? 10. Oh, they're all mixed. Of course they are. I don't like the Amiga recapping. Everything's random. We'll do them in pairs then. So we've got 22 and 22. So we've got two 22s here at least. We'll do that first. Don't think there's an Xbox caps explode. Oh yeah, definitely. The super cap leaks everywhere, and the large caps, the power caps explode. We've got a cap kit for that now, like a complete motherboard recap. That's a 22. That's two 22s. Get the iron on. I don't think you can see from above, maybe. Are we in the right position? Yeah, look at that. Right where we need to be. And then on this, I'm just going to hot air and the solder pump. There we go. That's them cleared. What I'll do is push the 22s in and just not solder them on the bottom for now. Yeah, Mega Drive ones are ridiculous for caps. Just cut them off and pull the legs out. They're horrible. Are we putting this in the right way? Positive there. Ooh, positive the other way. Did anybody see which way that one come out? Because that one looks like a positive on there. I'm going to guess that way. Well, yeah, because ground is there. But then ground is there. That's got to be the plus, hasn't it? We're going for that. Somebody scream at me if that was the wrong way around. Otherwise, that's where it's going. Right, next up is a 10. So this is going to be a ceramic, which means we've got the nice, easy ceramic. So actually for the 10, because we don't have to remove the legs, this one here I can just cut off. But I suppose we can just as easily hot air it off as well, I suppose. But if you're doing ceramics, you can technically just cut the legs flush and blob solder on. There's no technical need to remove them. It's just if you're fussed about legs sticking out the other side of the board that aren't connected. Just a literal preference thing. It doesn't make any difference to the job, whether you cut them off or hot air them off or do anything else. There we go. And then we will solder on a 10. I think this is like 2 months old as well. That's how far behind I'm getting with my repairs. So for this, I will blob solder on one side, a nice little bubble. Then I'm not in the right position for this, but something like that. That's a really bad position, but you'll see what happens in a minute. Solder this side, flood it with solder, and then if we flood the other side with solder, and go back and forward. Surface tension just brings it into position, so that's that one. The 22s are in, just not replaced. And now we have another one. So what's this one? 47. And this one is right by, oh, I'm saying that you can't see. We've got a 47 one here. By the plastic socket. So if you're quick enough, probably shouldn't do this, but if you aim the heat away from the socket, then you should be able to preheat the board around here, and then aim away and then pull out without, like, you can literally remove stuff with hot air right by sockets if you're good enough at it. We'll soon find out if I am. Also, if the sockets are cheap quality, you got no hope. So if these are low melt temperature versions, then we're going to melt the socket. Whereas if it's a good quality one, which you'd hope it was as an original socket, they'll survive this heat without any damage, as long as you don't point the air straight at them. And the other option is you can just go from underneath, but that takes longer, and you can popcorn the board. Or you can play it safe and soldering iron it off, but I thought I'd show you the various ways to do it. So we got one on there. And I don't want to get too close. Oh, you can't see anything I'm doing because of that. Don't want to get too close to the board. And it takes a bit longer because you're not going right over the connection that you're trying to melt because of that socket. So we're kind of hovering the heat around it as opposed on it. And no, I don't think we're gonna. I think we're best just getting the iron on that side. So much for that. Maybe if I'd have put low melt solder on that side, it would have worked. But the side that's basically closest to the socket, you don't want to go near it. That's just solder that's flown to it. We can see we've got no damage on the socket, but I couldn't really get close enough to the pin, if you will, that's on it. So where are we? Where's the socket? Further up here. So see the socket survive perfectly fine. So there's no damage on it. But you can't really get your hot air over this pin, so this pin takes ages to melt. So this one come out fine with hot air, but then this one, as needed, I've just ended up using my iron on that one. I didn't want to spend too much time on the board with hot air, but you can do it like that, depending on if it comes off quick enough. But in that case, I felt like it was, we were on the board long enough with hot air. You don't want to be there any longer. You can obviously, like I say, you can go from underneath as well. But over the top is faster. Right, what size was that? Was that the 47? I think it was, wasn't it? So we want that going in there. And so that one. So we'll solder all these the other side of the board when we're done. And then we'll go to this one. So this is a 10, which will be ceramic. So the other option I showed you for this, I mentioned if it's ceramic, you can just snip nice and close to the edge like that. If you want to take them off that way as well. And then that will leave you with the legs. So you can either then leave the legs in the board, or if you really want to take them out, you can say apply some solder on there, and you can try and grab it from this side. Sometimes you can sort of just grab the leg and pull out, which I can't find there. Or you can go the other side of the board and do it. Or you can also just desolder pump the hole first. And there's the leg then, you can see. So you can kind of grab hold of the leg like that and see if you can warm up while you're holding it. Which this would be easier from the other side. So yeah, I can't grab that one from this side. Where's my desolder pump gone? There. But there's no need to remove them legs. Like I said, if you prefer to just cut them off, if you feel more comfortable cutting them off, that's what you can do. That one has sucked straight up the desolder pump. So the other option is you can also try and just add. I wouldn't recommend it to gain cap legs up your desolder pump like, but you can just fill it full of solder and, like I say, desolder pump it, and you'll probably find the leg might end up the desolder pump. Oh yeah, the other thing is, yeah, you could actually cut the legs not so short. I wasn't intending to remove the legs, that's why. I was going to kind of show you the way. There you go, it's up my desolder pump now. I was just going to show you the way of cutting them flush. I don't know why I've even bothered desolder pumping anyway, because I'm going to fill it straight back in. No, it's a ceramic. Yeah, I was just kind of showing you the technique. If you didn't want to actually use hot air or struggle getting the caps off, you can just cut the caps off if you're going to replace it with ceramic, because you don't need to desolder pump the hole. That was kind of the whole point why I was showing it originally, and then got distracted showing you how to desolder pump legs out of the hole. Can't see what I'm doing. There we go. So surface tension has pulled that back into level for us, and that's that one. In fact, you probably want to see how this has got this is one trace here, and this exposed copper is close to that. So I'm purposely going to offset this one closer to this end like that, just so it doesn't sit over this line. That's another one. Then we have these four now, which are 22, 22, can't see, and 47. We've got 47, some at 22, 22. Probably 100 that one is. Yeah, 47, 100, 22, 22. See if we can remember that. And let's go back to soldering iron, because why not? So for soldering iron, you put solder, fresh solder on either side of the cap, and then I tend to just get my hand in, let that melt a bit, and then bend to lift one leg out. And then once that one's out like that, you can go back to the other leg, warm that up, and then you're only dealing with lifting one leg out. And don't rush it. Don't kind of, if it gets hot as well, which this one's getting a bit hot, get your grippers. Don't pull out too soon, because that's where you'll tear a trace. That's the risk of using the soldering iron like this to remove the caps. That's where your biggest risk of tearing the traces. If you try to pull out the cap while it's not hot enough. Stray bit of solder. There we go. Oh, I forgot I've got a T now. Right, so that was a 22. Let me just put a 22 in before we forget. Looks a bit dirty as well, that was. So this one is then the same. This is 100, so plenty of solder on either side. And this is leaded solder, so melts at a lot lower temperature. You'll have to go the other way because that cap. Melts a lot lower temperature than the original factories, so you've got a bit more leeway. That lifts up like that, and now you can probably get the grips on this one, warm up that pad, and again, no rush, give it plenty of time, and then out it comes. So this is 100. Oh, no way. As if Ember have stopped shipping to the UK. That's crazy. I wondered where they'd gone. Because the thing is, the one cup I've got is in this room. So when I'm sitting in my other room, which is a lot of the time, I've always got cold coffee. Hey, welcome in. Make sure I'm not chucking the the new caps. Sell them in Harrods. Oh, cool. Excuse to go shopping in Manchester then. Yeah, I want the flat white size cup, ideally, because a lot of the time I want a coffee, but I don't want a huge amount in one go. I prefer having lots of small drinks. So this mug's good, but it is pretty huge, this mug. This is more of like a latte mug. Yeah, that's the one I want, the copper one. That's the colour. That's them two. So now we've got these, which were, can't remember, were these 22s? Yep. 22, 22. And then again, warm one leg up. And that squeaks normal on this because the legs are bent. The other side of the motherboard slightly bent out. So the squeaker's the leg bending out. But like I say, always just make sure before you're lifting, that's why I'm being careful here, that you're not lifting while the solder's cold, because you'll just pull traces. I don't like to use hot air too much on the Amigas either, because they are absolutely renowned for delaminating and popcorning a bit, because there's moisture trapped between the board. I think we had somebody on there that sounded like they knew what they were on about as well, with the whole delamination stuff where you gain air pockets between the board, and I think they were trying to tell me that it's not. Like, my suspicion with delamination, which is basically when the board kind of bubbles, if you will. It looks like it bubbles up and it goes under the green, is there's pre-preg in the middle of the copper layers. So typically it's fiberglass. On these older ones, it's like paper, basically, as opposed to fiberglass. My thought is it traps in moisture over the years, and it's the moisture that's expanding between the layers. So obviously moisture expands and bubbles up like a balloon. They were quite adamant it wasn't that, but I still say it is, and I still say if you're using flux when you're doing this as well, the flux goes in between the layers and expands as well. So that's why you don't see me using flux on the desoldering stage, because that's what I think it is. But yeah, it doesn't do much damage if you're careful anyway. It just bubbles up. It just doesn't look good, but that's why I tend to use irons more on Amigas, and especially with the state this one was in, with a lot of water ingress, it's very likely to end up with some form of bubbling when we're working on it anyway. I'm sure we're going to end up with some slight bubbling potentially. That's that one out. Original PS3, when they tried, yeah, that's probably just pure overheat, I'd say. The PS3 isn't that old that it should have water ingress, and the board's definitely not a paper version of the board at that age. So I'd say that's just more maybe massive overheating, because of, obviously, you know what the PS3s are like. Right, 22. I've lost my 22. Where did the hell? Oh, I think I've chucked me 22. I'm going to put a 47 on there. I've got one extra. Oh, am I going to need it? I've lobbed me black one. You know the thing I said not to do. Damn it. Yeah, I chucked one of my new black ones somewhere in the depths of my bin instead of the blue one. So I'm going to put an uprated 47 on there. Just checking I don't need it for elsewhere. If not, I'll just grab another. 47 there. Got 247. That one is 100. Yeah, I've got a spare 47, so wicked. I'll just put a 47 in there. There we go. And now we have 3 left. So we'll go to this view now, so you're not staring top down the whole time. Take that off now. I only had that on for a different view. I kind of need this camera the other way, but with being left-handed, I always block the view when I'm doing stuff on this angle. So this is just a bulk capacitor, just extra storage by the big chip. So this one, size-wise, of these isn't critical at all. The bigger the better, without going too extreme. This one's 100. It's actually got quite a bit of black gunk underneath. Might try that trick of warming the end of this up, because we have having no luck with my desolder pump today. I mean, this isn't a new one anyway. I found this mechanic one in my garage. This engineer one, rather, in my garage. So it's obviously one I've had. That's why it was so dirty inside, because it's one I've used before. So maybe this is just a stopgap in between. It just seems to... I'm either having just bad luck with cold solder going up. Yeah. Or maybe put some more lube down the hole. I just had a little... the notification sound of an alert. I haven't seen an alert. Sure, that was the alert. Yeah, so I only just spotted your message. I don't know when you've disappeared. Just gonna head off now. Watching this makes me want to get the old... yeah, well, luckily we sell the A500s if you want one, but they're not cheap. Yeah, I'll tell you what, you can say I'm going to put some more lube down the hole on TikTok and not get banned, but you can talk about repairing a console and get immediately banned. Okay, let's lube on the table. There you go. This is not what you should be doing, by the way. This does exactly what I said it does, which is ending up clogging the... I should not have to do this already. You can end up clogging the solder up fairly quickly. I'm going to put it in the top there. Let's see if that's any better. Now I've just got... watch out here. It just sprays lube. I've got a lube gun. Yeah, there you go. That's all I've designed. I haven't fixed the problem. I'm just pissing lube all over my desk. Yeah, that was not a... I told you not to do that. Should have listened to myself. Now my entire desk is lubricated. And we've still got a thing that doesn't work that good. Yeah, that'll do for now. We've got 2 more caps we need it on. Wow, I made an absolute mess of everywhere. Right, 100. Yeah. You watch, I'll forget to solder all these caps as well. And now we've got to take these mouldy black mold leopard spotted caps off. These are the worst ones because you can't get your soldering iron underneath there because they're too big. And you've got a heat from underneath, which is going to probably delaminate the board from this side because they're just not good. So what we could maybe do is try and actually fully desolder these holes. That's probably the best bet here. So we probably want to flux these up, fresh solder, and then plenty of heat. Wait for a long time. Snip, you won't get the snips underneath. It's too flat to the... you can see the originals here. They're like buried within the cap and perfectly flat, so you're not going to get your snips under there. Just lots and lots of heat, and then da-da, that's what you do. Same on this one. Lots of heat. Just wait, there's no rush, you're not going to burn anything. Just let it pump through. There we go. And then, if we're lucky, that should then just come out. Da-da. So yeah, you're not going to get your you're not going to get your snips under there. It's like way too buried in. So we'll do that again on the other one, which is these 2 holes. I'm pretty sure them there. You watch, I'll get this wrong and a random component will fall out. So on the end, plenty of solder. Have a drink of your tea in between. And then keeping the heat on, just straight off there. And I think that's done it. It's kind of hard to tell because the leg is so thick. It barely even moves as well, that leg. You can't even push it with the iron. So, same on this one. Keep the heat. Press solder. Yeah, catch you in a bit. There we go. So that now should wiggle out. There we go. That's 2 off. So that's the way you're getting the big ones out. Like I say, different technique for everything. Wow, there's genuinely just lubricant all over my desk. Right, so now for these big giant caps to go in. Giant Rubicons. And then we're going to solder all these up. So, do you want to see the mess I've made of my desk? Look at that. Just everywhere, covered in spots of lube. Right, so we've got... Oh yeah, so look at the... They definitely did not expect these to be this size. Look at the holes on... There's the holes of... Where are we? The holes of the caps are there. Look at them rings. Come on, camera, focus. Look at them little baby rings and look at the size of the caps next to the ring. They did not expect to have to put this size cap on that size hole. And that's why they literally even touch the resistor here. I think they've expected to put like 100 microfarad and then bricked it right at the end when this goes in, goes through. And yeah, look at that. It's like, that is not, that's round peg, square hole kind of installation. See if I can get a good angle under there. Yeah, look at that. Look at the, look at the actual size of the outline where they expected the cap to fit. That is just ridiculous. That's way oversized. And then the same for this one. That's probably why they've even put Kapton tape there, look, because they know this cap would technically short out on that leg. Now, one thing I want to make sure I don't do on this is put this backwards. There's no positive on this one, but there's clearly a big ground plane that side, so it's going to be that way around with the line. But yeah, that's why they've got capped on tape down that bottom corner, because this cap would definitely touch that. Yeah, that is not designed to fit in there. They definitely balls that up. So they're in. And now to just solder all the legs everywhere we see them. And that's then the recap done. So, yep, full recap. I'm going to keep all these caps in a random tub, because they're going to be loads of them. And then if anyone wants any free caps, just let me know on random orders and I'll chuck you just random bags of caps in. Where am I going to keep them? Keep them up there for now. I've even got lube on my phone. How did it get over there? Jesus. Ember travel. Oh yeah, the travel mug. I forgot about the travel mug. Yeah, I'll do some shopping tonight, I think. Right, let's get this one on. Back on the overhead cam, I think, for this one. That's better. So these big, hefty connections. Well, that's dark. Let's put my little overhead light on. Studio, is that the one? There we go. Nice bit of light so I can see. So on these big giant caps, just feed in and wait. So you've got plenty of heat, and then cut the big. No ways I just got in my tea. What's going on today? I've literally got a random capacitor leg in my tea now, so I've got to be careful when I'm drinking. Yeah, I literally went in the cup of tea. I don't know whether you heard it or not. Couldn't have done that if you were paid money to. So you want to leave it on long enough on these because you want it to travel through to the other side of the board. With them being thick legs, you want to make sure you give it plenty of heat. Oh yeah, I don't want to dip a dirty magnet in my tea. I prefer to just drink through the dirty soldered leg instead. We'll find it at the bottom. Or I'll forget and swallow it. One or the other. Yeah, that's a point. We're kind of neutralising the germs with the IPA that's in the cup anyway, like you say. Oh yeah, you could do that. Yeah, use your brain and actually put a magnet on the outside. Where's my giant magnet? Let's try to them in. Right, and I've got the actual thing that holds my desk up. Well, not the desk, geez. So I've got this This is what holds my screwdriver up. So shall we get my my random bit of metal leg out of my drink so I don't swallow it. Then there's two. How did two end up in my tea? What the hell? I only heard one go in. Okay, that's probably a good job we got them out. You could not have done that if you tried. Trick shotting capacitor legs into your tea. Or the missus has put one in. I think the missus put one in. Then there we go. Let's carry on now. We know the drink is safe to drink. I'm more intrigued where that second one come from. I definitely only heard one go in. How could I have possibly cut two legs and them both fling perfect? I mean, you can't even see where it is from here, but like that is not even. Right, let me see if we can zoom out. So there's the board we're working on. All right, the cup of tea is like, you can't even see, it's under here, behind a phone, behind all this stuff. It's literally under that camera. Like, it's miles away. It's gone from there, gone, flown through here, through all this, past it in there. That is insane. I want a Guinness Book of Records for that. That is not something that normally happens. How do you determine the value of ceramic caps on the board? Take them off and use an LCR meter. You can use your multimeter, but they've got to be off the board to measure them. Just put your multimeter in capacitance mode and measure, which will be accurate enough, really. But you can get an LCR meter. Yeah, catch you in a bit. I won't be on too much longer. Probably another. Well, to be honest, when I've done this recap, it'll probably be. That'll probably be it for me anyway. And then I'll catch this up in the morning. We'll jump back on it with. I need to get all loads of stuff ready. I need to find the working floppy disk and get the keyboard, like spare keyboards out of storage and stuff like that. So I need to prepare for the next step anyway. After the recap. Yeah, cap leg remover. And I'm holding on to these from now on because that was an insane trick shot. And then we have, I think, 3 more, and we're good. Hey, welcome in. We're just wrapping up a recap on an Amiga 500, and then we could try it with his original floppy disk, I guess, just for quickness. And if not, I'll get all the spare parts ready for tomorrow. That's it. That is the recap done. So let's see where we're at now. Like I said, recaps rarely fix anything. It's not normally a solution to most stuff, but it's at least worth a quick try. Gonna have to get all this lube off my desk now as well, because it just looks crazy. So I'll move that board out the way. Tweezers over there. I've used more cloths and IPA on this repair than anything in a long while. Yeah, just look at the state of that desk again. I mean, admittedly, most of this one is my doing, but how many times am I going to have to clean the desk? See, when people ask what the base rate on the consoles is for, why are you paying £30 to £40 before you've had mods done? This is why. 7 cloths, IPA, solder, flux, electric, time, all before you've even done any of the mods. And so we're now at recap done. Nothing else has changed, has it? So let's get this. We shouldn't need anything now except the floppy drive. That is exactly as it was, bar a slight external clean at the minute. And this internal board has had a clean and a recap. So I don't expect this to have changed anything really, but let's power it up and see. Where is the cable? There we go. You go into that one. That is the video. Yeah, it is. I love how on every Amiga they move where the RGB video is. Pretty sure the 500 it's on the far left. Power plug, HDMI, and turn it on. Go to there, and what do we need? Amiga test kit. So, see if this does anything. I doubt it will, but I can also hear the... No different. So, oh, I'll say no different. Yeah, you just, of course you troll me. Recaps fix nothing. Recap the board and it works. Of course it does. I'm telling you, it wasn't the recap, it was the clean. Because recaps fix nothing. It's never the recap. Right, mouse. No mouse. No mousey. Let's restart and see if Joy-Con 1 is this one, isn't it? Sure. Right, we can turn that overhead light off now as well. Blinding my face. There we go. Oh, actually, yeah, this is my mouse, so I know the mouse works. Yeah, mouse is dead, or we're in the wrong port. I'm sure Joytech 1. Oh no, of course, mouse works and it's the other port. That one. So, controller ports, left, right. We can't test the... Oh, and I'm stuck in the menu because I haven't plugged the keyboard in yet. Of course I am. Let's get the keyboard that is now nice and clean. So, keyboard's all cleaned up of the gunk, but we still have... These buttons are still manky and horrible. I think they still need a keyboard swap or some serious service. So I'll leave that up to the customer to decide what we do there. This will always restart the system as well when you plug a keyboard in because of it, the way it works basically. Right, that's on there. Control and Alt. So that at least works. Right, main thing, keyboard. So, oh yeah. Yeah. That's the entire keyboard. Yeah, that keyboard's knackered. That's not even the 8. I'm pressing that button. That's not 8. That's not 1. If I plug this in backwards, no, because Control and Alt are correct. And the lights work. The only thing I don't like about the keyboard, you can plug it in backwards. But have I? We'll know by the power light. Oh, maybe we're in luck. Maybe I plugged the keyboard in backwards there. Although that's not loading that either. No, I think it's just a bad keyboard. Turn off, wait a second, try again. Yep, caps lock's coming on. Let's unplug that, turn off. I've worked on enough of these, you'd think I remember which way around the keyboards, definitely. Let me just pull up a picture. Put that in a second. Amiga 500 PCB. Let's see if I can find some random photos online of the keyboard plugged in. Or my own stream if somebody scrolls back and then scrolls back forward. So, of course, every photo I see is a different ribbon. Purple, 2, 1, 2, 3. I could pull up the schematic and figure it out that way. There's 4 pins on that one. 1, 2, 3. Orange. 1, 2, 3. No, I'm pretty sure that's the right way. So that on there. And then when we boot, yeah, because we've got all the power lights, and that's definitely the right way. So it is just a bad keyboard, very bad keyboard. So we have. I've never seen a keyboard be that bad though. A shorted ceramic capacitor. You can't really without schematics. Right, control Amiga. Yeah, so the keyboard's in the right way because control Amiga resets the system. So totally fudged keyboard, really. So let's see if I've got. I don't think I've got a keyboard lying around here. Maybe I have. There's a lot I've got in this room, but the keyboard is not. Well, I mean, it could also be. Could be the CIA, but the state of that keyboard, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a bad keyboard. So we'll presume keyboard's bad for now, which we kind of figured. The keys broke, the sticking down, it doesn't work on there. So 512, that's fine for this one. Test all memory, let's leave that running a second. Yeah, so if you've got a shorted cap and you take it off the board and it's still shorted, there's no realistic way to know with a ceramic. There's no markings on them. You have to find the schematic or analyze the circuit board to figure out what's going on. That's gone through the RAM super fast anyway. We're on round 7, so there's no issues with the memory. So let's just power cycle. And we're also looking as we're power cycling for consistent boot as well. The fact that the keyboard was interfering with boot a few times, that seemed to be the deciding bit there. So memory's fine. Floppy drive, we've loaded off it, so you can do signal test, DFO, turn the motor on and off. I can hear that spinning. Yep, spinning the other way. Yep, I can hear all that moving. Yep, so not a definitive test. Your definitive test is loading more things off the floppy, because loading just Amiga test kit is not exactly hard. So we'll try other games before we confirm that. It's power cycle once you've done the test on the floppy. I haven't serviced it either yet, but once you've done the test on the floppy, it can move the head to a random position, so you're best doing a double boot like we've just done. So yeah, we've got inconsistent boot on that. So memory's good, floppy is kind of okay, mouse is working. We probably want to test, well, if the floppy isn't going to consistently boot, then we can't really load games and stuff consistently either. So let's maybe, just to wrap this up, give the floppy disk a quick service. Let's get this out. Let's put that out of the way for now, and let's go to this. So there's not that much you can do on a floppy. I mean, this is obviously filthy like the rest of the board, but what we'll need to do is, on this one, we have just the one screw, it looks like, on here. And then this should slide out. Oh, we've got a side screw as well, 2 side screws. We've got one there. And we'll have one on the other side. There we go. And now that should slide out. And there's quite a few, it's been a while since I've serviced one, but there's quite a few bits in the floppy drive. This is absolutely filthy, like everything else in this Amiga. What do we have? So we've got the springs down there, we've got the tray here, we've got the head here. So a floppy disk, you've got a floppy here. So this, I'll tell you what, let me show you inside of one, why not? Well, let's get a random one that's not going to get used. Let's get a copied one here. So this is just random floppy disk. Sure you remember these. If you're as old as me, you'll remember these. The other little tabs down here, write enable, write protect. So if you flip to this little plastic, you can now write to the floppy. This was nothing more than a sensor that some of the floppies had, like here. So see these little plastic buttons. So all that happens is when you put the floppy in, this one will be a detection that there's a floppy in, and the other will be a detection if the write enable toggle is active. So if you block that hole when you put this floppy in, the first thing that happens is obviously as you go down, and you can see them plastic bits. So that goes down, and the floppy being in, I can focus up there, yeah, almost. That first one there is telling you the floppy is in because it's gone down, and that'll always compress. And then this one, if you move this black piece out of the way, this plastic here, I eject it again, this one would not compress because if we flip the switch the other way now, so there's a hole going through it, and insert the floppy, you can see now that second switch is free to just sit in the hole. So if we looked at it from this side, you can see there's the switch. So it's not an actual protection in a sense that it stops the disk or the system reading or writing to it. It's just purely a switch that tells the system you don't want to write to it, and it can decide if it wants to do it. Obviously the floppy disk itself might protect against it if the controller wants to be that way, but it's just a switch that recommends that, if you will. So when you insert this into here, as this goes over and pushes on here, you can see this plastic arm here, which has got this little bit down here. So see this little movable arm? If I move it with my tweezers, this arm here is what pushes this out. So this arm here that's sticking through, this little bit here, catches in this little groove here, and then slides over like that. So basically revealing the floppy underneath. So you see that when it goes in, see it catch on there, and then push, and it pushes that open. So all that happens is you're pushing in. And then the last step, when you push in, it locks down, and this is the read head. So the way it pushes down is just by the rails on the side. So that's what these things do. When you push in far enough, them rails just slide in. So all you're dealing with here is pure mechanical systems. That goes in, we push in here, and as we're pushing in, we are then allowing this cage, because what happens is when the disc gets so far and hits a wall here, we're then physically pushing this in to allow this metal to ride down, and that's what lowers the disc, or lowers this entire cage down, and that's how the head then engages. So as it lowers down, this spring here, which we'll have to service after, forces this down. So that's then free to roll down, and that's because until then you'll see, well, it's hard to see on here, but you have this slight angle on this plastic here, the cage, and as we put the disc in, see that cage drops. Because this entire cage is dropping, the cage is what's holding this head up. So this black cage you see here is physically holding this head up by this piece of plastic. So when this cage drops, this head can drop, and then when that opens up and it lets the head drop, it goes down. Well, this isn't the head will be underneath. This is the thing that pushes the rotating disc onto the reed head underneath. So there's some mechanics of it. I could go on for ages with this. There is actually quite a bit in a floppy when you think about it, but that's the initial kind of get your disc in there and how it sits and why that works. And then what we have here, this is, I don't know what the name is, but this is basically the spindle. There'll be a motor under here, which is inside here, big motor. This spins the actual disc, so see how that spins around, like so. That locks in to this piece of plastic here. This circle piece here, little divot, little ball there, locks into this. And then if that was locked into there and I spun that with my finger, you can see how that's how the disc spins. So basically, more accurately than me, the center piece of the floppy here locks into that, and then this spins around, which is what spins the disc. And then if I were to, say, gut this disc, so you can see, we get that open, and if we then open this out, there we go. So that's the actual, this is why it's called the floppy disk, because obviously the 5 3/4 is it, or 5 and whatever quarter disc, they were just big floppies. I've got them around here somewhere, probably find them out. But the smaller ones, the ones I'm used to, are, people for some reason, some think these are hard sometimes just because the case is hard, but they have the fabric in there to protect the spinning disc, so when this spins it's on a nice fabric bed. But ultimately all that is a holder for this, and this is where your data lives. So this is stored on there. Super wild cards with this. Yeah, the floppy, it's quite rare, isn't it? So this will go in here. For example, if I was to slide this in now, you'd see when it's in, there's the ball locking over, and if this is in the right position, where is it? Somewhere around there. We can bring it back around now. You can see that then catches, and when it spins, it basically spins it because it hits, you know, this little floaty disc thing is what locks in. It's obviously not down at the minute properly, so we'd have to force this down, which I'd have to move the latch here, is it? There we go. So that's now down. This now locks up there and catches properly on that disc. So when it spins, it's literally this hitting this shape here, so it can spin the disc. So we could probably see that actually spinning like that without any of the case. I don't know whether this will work, but we could have a go just so you can see it in action. So that goes on there, that goes on there, and then we only really care about this. So if I hold that there, say, slide over, there's the floppy. You don't want to get your hands on this because this thing is going to spin like that. So as that's spinning, you can see the disc will be there. So if I turn on now, we should see if it detects that it's down. You can see it'll try and move this head. And oh, you've got to detect a disc is in. And there, yeah. So that one is disc in. And then that's how it's trying to spin. And now you can see it basically operating. So this will probably, if I put that up, oh yeah, so it's loaded the game already with it open. So there's the game, and obviously I can't press go to do it, but if I turn off, turn on, you'll see that the signal that gets sent to the Amiga to tell it you've actually got a disc in is this thing. So if we wait for that to go, we press that, spins the disc, and away we go, it loads it. So what we need to do to service this, that's really just showing you how it works. We haven't serviced much yet, but the basic cleaning. Of course, I've knocked all the tools over the desk again. Now, it's going to be fun getting this disc out because we don't have the release mechanisms in. There we go. So let's take that out for now. That was an example of how it works. We need to clean up all in there, but that doesn't matter too much. What you want to do is you don't want to take this head out because the alignment is fairly specific. This is very critical. So this being locked in tight here is what sets the position. But again, I don't want to go too deep into this, but there's basically V grooves all around here. There's sectors in kind of V's. And this rotating the disc to a certain position, this being locked in very accurately on a twist based on this thread, is what sets the center point of it loading data off the floppy. So if you find that you're not getting good reads, you can adjust these two screws, leave a mark over the, like what you typically do is put a mark on the body and the motor, like that. So you've got a kind of data mark if you've ever done timing belts, this kind of thing. You mark them, unscrew these two, and you can slightly rotate your motor, like literally to say here, like a tiny bit over. And that can reposition the center point of the floppy. That's one of the adjustments you can do. We shouldn't need to do that. The other one is we have a sector 1 home position, which is where the disc head, this thing, moves back and forward to say where the start of the disc is, which is probably this thing here. There'll be normally a black plastic. See if I can see it. Sensor. Where are we on this one? They're all slightly different. That's dirty in here. Can't actually see where the sector 1 head is on this one. The sensor for it. All I can see is lots of dust bunnies, like absolutely tons. So you've got loads of dust in here. Yeah, we need this to move. It's probably in the way of it, so we can't see it. So when this moves, when we load a disc, this will move out the way. There'll be a sensor under here that when this physical piece of metal moves, there'll be a sensor somewhere here that knows when this entire assembly that will move back and forward as it reads the center of the disc. It knows when it's home up there. So it's just a read switch. So it'll just detect when it physically moves up and down. So that can be changed to detect when it's fully back and forward. The other thing, the main one that you find is the strength of this, how much it's pushing down on the disc. You can adjust it with, and this is one of the main things that will help. So see this little staggered black tube here. So these kind of 3 hooks here. This is so you can move this, which is what we're going to do, up. We're going to get this spring, he says. I'm going to do it when it's flat so it's easier for me. We're going to pick up this spring, lift him up and put him into that one. So now, see how we've effectively lifted the spring up. What that's done is applied more tension. So if I went up to the top like that, now that's got the most tension on this. So this now is very strong because we've, bent the spring more. Whereas if we move it down to the bottom, it's a lot weaker. So what you want to do is we're going to move it up to the middle. This will push this floppy closer to the head, which you still haven't seen yet. The head is under here. So see that there? Hold it up. I can actually keep my finger to hold it up. You stay there. Right, see this here? That bit is the thing that's actually reading this. So the idea is when you're reading the disc, you're reading the thing that's facing underneath down here. And this head is, well, this top piece pushes the floppy disk onto this read head here, basically, and runs over. So you can see all the crap all around it. This head wants to be clean, and this area wants to be clean under here. So you want to clean that. You can increase the tension on the spring there. We could rotate this to align the sectors, and we could ensure the home position moving back and forward is altered by taking these screws out, hence why they've got Loctite on, and moving this head assembly here forward and backwards to be in alignment. So there's a lot of things you can do on a floppy to service it, but realistically, generally clean everything, ensure these switches are clean and working for the detection, and tighten this spring. I wouldn't do this unless you know exactly what you're doing. I would not move this motor, and I wouldn't mess with the head assembly or these 2 screws unless you know what you're doing. So the fact that this already loads, and we've loaded a game quickly, short of basically cleaning this out, which I'll do, that's how the floppy disk works. Basically, that's the overview of a floppy disk. So what I will do is I'll service the floppy. I'll tell the customer anyway, because the thing is they haven't got much. Well, they've got basically nothing left of the diagnostics cost now with what we've done so far. And we know they need a new keyboard for sure. The floppy, I'm pretty sure will be okay. I don't think we're going to have an issue with the floppy. And they want some mods. But the main thing is they need a power supply already. They need a keyboard already. So that's already money. They might not want to spend that. So we don't want to, push too far on this before I contact the customer. So I think we've done a good amount of stuff on it so far. And we've got games loading. So we're at a good position where we can kind of say the system works confidently, or as confidently as we could be. There's a whole lot of testing we've got to do to prove that first. But let's try rough and tumble now. So this will load a game and we'll hear audio if this is working. So this is a good test. Probably have to hold this up. And let's see if we get, of course, can I get past this? I don't think I can get past this without a keyboard. Hopefully we can. Yeah, there we go. So, see what I mean? So that is either a failed load or part of the graphics, part of the circuit. Maybe, I doubt it's going to be Denise. It's probably going to be Paula or Gary, or that's maybe just a bad load on the floppy. So let's cycle that a minute. Let's try it once more. Because I wanted to see if we've got, I could use Amiga test discs actually to test the audio. We don't need to load the game. But let's see if we can get this. I mean, it does look like the floppy is, I think, gonna work. I think it's just, no, that's not a good sign. That's probably a bad chip as well. So we're getting worse. We're getting we're getting down the realms of probably new chips as well. It's all dependent on how much the customer wants to spend on this, if it's sentimental versus cutting the losses. Because we're at this point, we are. If it wasn't sentimental, I'd probably just recommend replacing the motherboard completely, or the console completely, like the computer, as people all tell me off for. It's not a console. I'd be tempted to do that, but if it is, there you go. So you can hear. Turn that up and then. So here's how you check the audio anyway. So off, off, off. So you can hear that one, and that one separately, and then this one. Yep. So every channel works. Filters work. Yep, so sound's working. Rough and Tumble might have an issue with the A500 not being a plus or not having enough RAM, to be honest. It could actually be that, because I know the thing with Amigas is they are sensitive to the Kickstart ROM. So what else do we have that we could try? Brian the Lion's an A1200 game. Opus Paint Amiga Explorer. I don't think I've got another 500 game on me. That other game loaded though, didn't it? So I think that is probably just a Kickstart issue. So no, I think that game is actually fine. Let's try another one. Let's try a boxed one. So I take it back on the graphics issue. I think we are probably dealing with just a Kickstart ROM issue there. And this is a known working game, Pushover. So let's see if this loads. I'm pretty sure if this loads, we're good, and we can tell him that we're probably okay by the expense of, yes, that's not loaded first time. Oh, hang on. Free with Amiga 6. Again, might be a Kickstart issue. Might not work with this. Oh, hang on. I've got a cross on this. Maybe this doesn't work. GoTech, yeah, I could go to GoTech to prove things and swapping. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. Kickstart. Oh, there you go. So there's the, yeah, that it's struggling to read that game, but that could be this disc. While it's there, let me show you. This is the sensor I was on about. So that's why it's hidden. See that green? So let me put that light back on. There we go. So see the green bit there? This is the head. See that little valley in there, like a little U shape? I don't know if I can get any closer than that. Yep, there we go. So that little valley, which is in focus, there we go. This little U shape here, when this arm goes in, which it will if I turn on and off now, you'll see this will, if I put a disc in, this will try and seek and move in, and that's what tells it it's the home position. So this will go back now until it hits, there we go, so it's gone inside, and once it hits inside there, that's now detected the start position of this. So that's how it knows, moving up the disc, where the start of the disc is. So that's what that sensor is. But if you adjust that position, you have to basically take these screws out and physically slide this head back and forward in order to change that position, or you unscrew this and slide this physically. So the sensor will be these 4 switches here. You'll slide this PCB back and forward. So that's why they've got, see the little bit of glue on this stump here and this post, because that little bit of groove allows you to move this board forward and backwards to adjust that start position. But don't go messing with that if you're not absolutely sure you know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to completely mess up the reading. So I'm pretty sure the fact this game actually has the cross on, that's not a good test either. Let's see if we can find one other game. Microsoft Works, Aliens 3, Disc A, Smart Sum, Beast World. Desert Strike, Beast World, use right mouse button for pull downs. Yeah, let's try Beast World. And you never know whether these floppies work anyway, because there's so many of them, and they'll work on some systems, they'll work on some kickstarts, so it's a case of having known games that you know work on certain systems. I know, that's the only thing, I know Rough and Tumble works on the A500, but maybe just not on this revision of Kickstart. So that's the only thing that's making me think maybe the system's perfectly fine. But for doing that, I'd have to mess with changing the Kickstarts over and stuff. Yeah, it's loading enough games, I think. See, now got the same corruption there. But is that, again, like I say, Kickstart issue? So it's something I'd have to basically tell the customer that we're not 100% sure yet. There could be other issues. But I'd know that by swapping Kickstart out, trying another Amiga with the same games, the same Kickstart, and so on. But that's the only thing. See, it's loaded past that. So that's what's kind of making me think, is it just a Kickstart issue with that kind of graphics corruption? It probably is. And the fact it's also loaded past it is a good sign that it's loading different sectors off the disk. So let's just give it a moment to see if this loads in. But overall, I'd call that a pretty good success considering how it looked at the start. The recap has obviously fixed the disk drive, or the ability that it can actually load off the disk. But it's definitely a case now, go back to the customer and see how far they want to take this, basically. Don't know, that's actually failed to load, so maybe that one has as well. Yeah, let's give it one more power cycle, see if it'll load. And the GoTech will eliminate any issues with the disks anyway. If you're ever in doubt if the disk is loading or not, then the GoTech will bypass all the disk read issues, so you know for sure. See how that one's gone straight to Virgin. So I do think it's actually probably just the floppy disk isn't the best. See, that sounds a little bit rough as well. But we haven't really serviced this floppy yet as such. So yeah, there's hopes for it. I'd say this is probably more so a floppy disk issue than a system issue. I think the system is looking sound. His main motherboard, I'm pretty sure we're looking fairly confident this is fine. And I think I might even have, tell you what, pretty sure, like everything else in this room, I've probably got a floppy disk sitting right here. Oh, and it might also need more RAM. That's the other thing. We might need to put the you stay there. Might have to put the RAM extension in. Hey, welcome in. I'm just ooh, I forgot that. I've got a massive tub of stuff above my head. A12. I'll tell you what, I've got 3 or 4. I've got 4 working A1200 floppies, but none for the 500. But that doesn't matter because the 1200 floppy works on the 500. It just doesn't fit in. So let's see if we connect this up. Pretty sure it's the same way on there. Power in there, and I am pretty confident. Like I say, the A1200 floppy works on the 500. It's just it won't physically fit in. Oh no, me. The X-copy sticker's stuck on Rough and Tumble. Get off. There we go. So let's see if Rough and Tumble works now with the new floppy. And then that'll prove if it is his floppy disk that's struggling. And so will this different kind of glitch. Maybe we want the RAM in. Let's put the 1 meg RAM in, because these are probably also limited on RAM. Some grease on the, oh yeah, I think it needs a bit more than the grease, but yeah, we'll when we service it, we'll clean it up and grease it as well as standard. Let's put this trapdoor in with the 1 meg, which we could probably test, well, we can test with Amiga test kit if we wanted. But for now, I'm just going to boot it up and see if that changes the behavior. Let me turn that light off as well. There we go. So it needed the RAM. So the issue was we were loading the games with not enough RAM. So that's a good sign. So we'll probably put his floppy back in now. Let's let the game load anyway so you can see. Yeah, so let's try his floppy now. So it's looking good so far. I think, other than the outside, the keyboard, the power supply, that's it really. I think they're your three things. I think if we swapped the keyboard, should we try Aliens as well now? The one that had that weird crash as well. Yeah, I think keyboard, power supply, and a floppy disk service. I think that's it. That's some funky sounding floppy. You know what? I think that probably wants the no, for the strength of that, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so let's ignore Alien 3. Let's go to Rough and Tumble, which I know works. So we're working with a known starting point. And now we can go back in. Now it's reset position. Let's see where we're at. So this should, if it's, we know now the system works. If this doesn't load, we know it's his floppy. But I think this is going to be perfectly fine now. Yeah, perfectly fine. So floppy's good, even though we haven't serviced it much yet. It needs a bit of TLC to stop the grinding noises, but that's all good. So yeah, I know what to go back to the customer now with. It's basically all good. See what mods he wants and work out a price for the keyboard, the power supply, the deep clean, and those bits. I say it's good. That's not actually loaded past that point. But again, we haven't serviced the floppy, so I'm pretty sure with a good service, I'd get this floppy loading. It seems accurate enough that I'd be fairly confident cleaning this floppy up, we'd get it close enough to loading. You can see that like a floppy that's struggling would normally struggle a lot more than this. The fact we're getting this far, I'm sure I can tune this into spec. Plus, I've got it open and I'm holding it in my hand. It's not exactly sitting still, is it? So, yeah, it's failing at that point. It is actually failing to read certain sectors of the floppy. But yeah, I know what to go back to the customer with. I'm happy we've got that far enough to give him a final price. So that's it really for that one. We've done a bit of everything there. We won't wrap this up, like I say, because the customer's not paid for work beyond this yet. This is just the diagnostic stage they paid for, but we have got it to the point where we've proven it enough that we can give him now an accurate final price to either take this to be done, and if so, when he gets back to me, I'll probably finish it off on stream maybe, I think. Mind you, there's only really just building stuff up at that point. There's clearing and cleaning that floppy out and building it up. So I don't know whether we'll stream it or not, but either way, that's where we're at with this one. Pretty happy with the result though. I think we'll be fine, and we'll just see what the customer wants. We could have issues with the keyboard still because we didn't check that. So the CIAs might need swapping, but again, it's all speculative until the work is paid to be done. So that's as far as we can realistically take this one. It's as much of a guarantee as we can give the customer that it's working, without obviously knowing for sure. You know, you can't see the future of it as such. So that's it, guys. I'll just pack up and go get some tea. I actually have another. I think I've got another Amiga, maybe. I've got two. We've got these in next as well. I've got to do. So most of you might not have seen these. The Commodore Plus 4s. So we've got two of these in. I've got both of them in to look at. I've actually got one of these myself. A lot rarer than the others. You don't see these very often. So if you want to see them being repaired. Oh yeah, and I've got another Amiga here. So I've got this one here. Yet another Amiga. And then I've got another Amiga on the floor. Why is it all Amigas and Commodores at the minute? So I've got that one. I've got another box here with another Amiga. So, yeah, Amigas everywhere. Right, that's it. I'm off. Don't forget to subscribe and do all that fun stuff if you want to see the next videos. I haven't built an amp yet. Well, amps as in the small ones. Obviously, I know exactly how to build the larger ones, but we do amps for all the consoles, sort of clean amps to boost audio. But in terms of power amps, not directly, but they're also, I know how to build them. I make hardware for a lot of stuff, so it wouldn't be a problem to build. PiStorm, Caffeine OS. See now, what do I use on it? I think the ones I've on it's like Best or Better. Can't think of the names of them now. It's been that while since I've set one up. The Better Workbench or whatever it's called that sits on top of it. Gives some nice visuals. It's there, but I've never tried that. Never tried that Caffeine one. Two SU2000 VR pods in the PC video. Got solid state drive switched over. Nice. Right, floppy. That's customers. Wow, my desk is. Well, my floor is full of stuff as well. Jeez. And then obviously now we've got the cap kits for all the Amigas if you want them now. We've got an entire dedicated cap kit site on the website now. We've got that many cap kits. Right then. I wonder if we can do that that thing as well that everybody does. You know, when you're raiding and stuff, like pass you guys onto somebody else. I don't know how you even do that. Anybody know how to do that on YouTube? Jump on somebody else's feed and stuff. We could try that. See if YouTube shows anything obvious. Highlight, add stream marker, share. I need to probably learn how to do it. Pop out dashboard, channel settings. Show your support, engage. Go to your live control room, click edit. Select customization under the redirect, click add. Well, that sounds complicated. Click edit, customization, redirect, add. Wow, is this how you actually do it? No upcoming live content from subscribers. That is the weirdest place to put it in. Let's have a look. Anybody online? I can't see. See, nobody does stuff like me. There's only search videos from other channels. Can't you just show people that are live? Or is it? I presume it would probably show people that are live already. If so, I don't think anybody's live. Repair. Oh yeah, random. Should we just pick some random people? Learning game console repair. There we go, live. Let's jump in this one. Right, I've clicked that. Do we just click save maybe? Yep, and save. Okay, so YouTube's about to jump over then. I'll click save on that. and I'll see if I can do the same on Twitch. So I presume my stream will end and you guys will disappear to that. I don't know. We'll soon find out. Clicking save. And I've saved that. I don't know what that's done. Not a clue. We're still here. Redirect allows you to keep viewers engaged across multiple events. Add a live stream before premiere. I've clicked save. I've no idea. I don't know whether... Is that when we end then maybe? That moves over? I've literally no idea how that's meant to work. Got to do the same for Twitch now. How do we do it on Twitch? You cannot call in or join on your own stream now. So is it maybe the same thing? Edit, audience, tags, stream. I think when it ends, it lets you know, it just sent us if it works. Cool. So watch the chapter. See, how can I? Yeah, I've got no idea. I'll click end stream and see if it works. And then I'm still on Twitch until then. So cool. I'm going to click end on YouTube. Let's see if that works. Oh yeah, your stream will stop immediately and anyone who's watching will be sent here. Cool. So yeah, you guys will get bumped over to there and I'll see if I can do it on Twitch.